What is up, Train fam? Boy, do we have a special one for you today. We're going to be going over every single one of my steam engines in my collection. This is going to be great. Stay tuned. Before we start the video on the steam engines, I just want to go over these shelves. Now, I picked these up used. I'm not sure if anybody still makes these style shelves or not, but they are pretty awesome. I do kind of like the fact that these have a 3-rail system, although I have heard in the past that some people think that the 3rd rail is unnecessary and can put some unneeded stress on the pickup rollers. What do you guys think? One more thing before we start the show. I just want to remind everybody to like and subscribe. If you haven't already done that with this channel, it really keeps me going. First in line is this Kline TMCC Pennsylvania 040. This is such a cool little model. It's the old school TMCC, which you still kind of throttle up a little bit sometimes. It doesn't have cruise in it, so it makes it a little bit more interesting. It's got that post-war feel. I just love this engine. What do you guys think? Next in line is this Lionel Legacy 060 BSB Polar Railroad. Now, when I picked this up, I did not realize what a cool engine this was, and they're actually kind of rare. They didn't make too many of these. Very nicely detailed operating front coupler, cool piping all the way down. It's just a really cool switcher engine. I'm so glad to have it, and I definitely run it every Christmas. Third engine in the collection is a 460. It's from Lionel and it's a legacy model. It's in Boston and Maine, and these were like mid-grade, you know, nothing too fancy about them, whistle smoke and all that. The details are, you know, some to be desired, but other than that, it's a good model. It runs good, and it's nice to have on the layout. Next model is the Lionel Legacy 442, which is an Atlantic, and this is about the same as the previous I just showed you. Decent detail, nothing to write home about, but does have whistle steam. All right, now we get to the models on the shelves. So this is a little 060. It's a Lion Chief Plus, and it's got some great detail. These engines were not that expensive at all. They run great. They're a little toyish if you look at the drivers, kind of that nickel look to them, but you know, with a little weathering, these things will look great on anybody's layout. The smoke is good, the sounds are great, and I can't complain for the price. These are really cool. And just to switch things up a little bit, this is from MTH. This is a really nice Climax locomotive. These had tremendous details on them. They are really cool models. The whistle sounds just amazing. Again, the detail on this is great. I believe it's a PS2, but I'm gonna get this upgraded to the BCR pretty soon. But yeah, just a really cool model. Awesome to see running around the layout. Underneath, if you took it off the shelf, you'd see all the different gearing and stuff that actually works. So MTH did a great job with these. I hope one of these days they come out with more. Anyways, a nice addition to the layout. The New Haven theme is this Lionel Legacy Mohawk. These came out a few years ago. They have the whistle steam. They're amazing tooling, tons of piping detail. These look great pulling anything on the layout that you can imagine. A big long freight, passenger cars, it really doesn't matter. The Mohawks are a favorite amongst all, and I'm so glad to have one of these in my collection. Keeping things New England is this 280 Lionel Legacy Main Central. This locomotive is beautiful with those white rim tires. This is a good one for my collection because I do a lot of New England railroading, and it's just a great little steam engine. I mean, it's got plenty of detail. It's a mid-grade, and for what you get, you know, whistle steam and all that good stuff, plenty of detail. It's a great value, and I'm so glad to have one of these in the collection. I've got another Main Central for everyone, and it's the 2662 Mallet, and that's by Main Central. Yep, Main Central actually had 1 or 2 of these mallets floating around on their railroad way back in the day. So Lionel came out with this one. It's a legacy model, and it does have whistle steam. It's got a cool hooter whistle, and it's really nice to have on the layout. It's not a big articulated steam engine, so it navigates corners pretty well, and it's got great detail, as you can see here. Okay, now moving on down the line, here is the Union Pacific 412-2. It's the 9000, and this is another Lionel Legacy model. These came out a few books ago. I can't actually remember what year they came out, but these dropped, and they're really cool. There's a couple of people that did some pulling tests. I think Eric's Trains was one of them, and I believe it's still his record holder But I mean, why wouldn't it be? It's got 12 drive wheels. I think it's got 4 traction tires. These things are beasts. They're very heavy. They're very well detailed. They've got whistle steam, which is awesome. And just take a look at this behemoth. The thing is massive. This is an engine I actually won in a donation page. You don't win if you don't play. So guys, if you ever want to take your hand on a raffle or a waffle or a donation, whatever they call those things, even if it's $5, you never know. You might just win a cool locomotive like this one. And this one is stunning. This is an older legacy model. It's the 611. And these things are just amazing. This thing is so heavy. It runs so well for an older Lionel legacy model. It does not have whistle steam. It doesn't have different whistles, which is fine. It's got the correct whistle. It just runs so elegantly down the rails. And I love running this thing on the layout. I don't have any passenger cars for it, but sometimes I'll actually run some Boston and Maine passenger cars behind it because they're maroon and they look okay. It's my railroad, so I'll do what I want. And but yeah, this is an awesome engine. I love having it in the collection, and it's just to die for. I mean, look at how cool this is. What do you guys think of the 611? And speaking of elegance, you can't go wrong with a New Haven i5. This is a Weaver model, so it's actually been upgraded to MTH Protosound 3. And this is something I picked up from Sid's Trains. I'm sure you guys have heard of him as well. He does some great work with engines. He's always coming up with something new. And when he had this thing for sale, it came with a couple of New Haven passenger cars, the green ones. I can't remember who makes those, but it just looks great pulling those cars. It actually looks good pulling any MTH or Lionel New Haven passenger cars. So I can't thank Sid enough for selling this to me at a good deal, and it's just an awesome thing to have in my collection. And it's really cool to be upgraded to Protosounds instead of the older TMCC. So this is an awesome piece to add to my collection, and it's just, again, so elegant rolling down the rails. Look at those drivers. Okay, so speaking of a Weaver model and also a New Haven model, here is an i4, and these are a 4-6 two-wheel arrangement. And while not as elegant as the i5, this thing is just so well detailed. Look at all the details on this model. And you know, you can find these at a pretty good price right now. They do have only TMCC, they're not legacy. But look at just the detailing on this engine. I'll try to get a close up. Just amazing. The piping, the wheels are amazing. This engine is just so beautiful. Weaver did such an amazing job with this model. It looks more like an HO than it does actually an O scale. So happy to have this in my collection. And just when you thought we were done with switcher engines, we come across this beast. This is a Pennsylvania 080, and these were used in switcher service, believe it or not. Sometimes they were used in helper service, but this engine is amazing. It's a Lionel Vision line, and I'm so happy to have it. I actually got this at a tremendous deal. It doesn't have a box. It's got some broken parts to it, but hey, it's an old engine. It's kind of supposed to look like that. So it doesn't really bother me. Everything works as it should. All the Vision line features work on it, the swinging bell. What else does this have? Blow down steam. And it just is an amazing model. I believe inside the cab, the lights and the gauges work inside there. I haven't run it in a while, but I'm not sure. If you guys remember, let me know. But this model is just so cool to have. I love how it has an operating front coupler on it. And the thing is just so cool. It's such a beast, and it has the great Pennsylvania hooter whistle. Such a cool engine. Okay, and here's another engine that I'm just so pumped to have in my collection. It's a West Coast engine, but hey, look at this thing. It's the 844 in the Greyhound steam. It's a Lionel Legacy. It's the older Lionel Legacy version, which is totally fine with me. It's got the correct whistle. It's just such a cool engine. It's a behemoth, but it glides so nice down the rails on my layout and on my future layout. I got this one from Matt Rochford, and we went back and forth a little bit on this one, and we finally struck a deal, and it's just an awesome engine. The 844 FEF is definitely an engine that every O-scaler should have. Depending on what version you want is up to you, but this one is just such a cool engine. It looks great in the collection. All right, so speaking of Northerns, look at this one. This is a New York Central Niagara 484, the same as the 844 Northern. And this thing is a Lionel Legacy Vision line, and it's got all the bells and whistles you could ask for. Pop-off steam, it's got the PT tender with the steam that rolls out when you go over the fake water scoop. It's just an amazing engine. This one's actually pretty cool. It's got the dual horn, so it's got the regular kind of diesel sound horn, and then also the normal New York Central whistle that you get on something like this. But yeah, this is such a cool engine. It's a beast. Again, it's a beast, but it's elegant. It looks so cool running on the rails, and I'm really happy to have this one. Not quite as big as the Niagara, but this engine right here goes without speaking. It's the 765 Berkshire nickel plate road. This is an MTH Protosound 3, and in my opinion, this is probably one of the best engines MTH has ever made. The detail on this thing is just amazing. Look down here at the chains on the trucks. I don't think I've ever seen a Lionel do that. Maybe it's got to be out there, but I'm not sure. Anyways, this thing is just so well detailed. Look at the details on this thing. Believe it or not, this actually has whistle smoke, which is really cool. MTH has just kind of started doing that. And it's got the Mars light in the front, which looks awesome when it's rolling down the rails. This engine, and definitely is one of the best looking engines in my fleet. It's just so cool. Such a great Berkshire. And yeah, this thing's just great. The interior is so well detailed. Look at that. It's got the curtains there. It's painted green on the inside. It's just such an awesome, awesome looking steam engine. Rounding out the top 3 steam engines in my collection is gonna start with the Lionel Vision Line Big Boy. It's a 4884 engine, and it doesn't need any introduction. This is probably the most popular steam engine around right now. There's actually one running. It's the 4014, and these engines are just amazing. This thing has all the bells and whistles without a doubt. It's got stack steam, whistle steam, pop-off steam, blow-down steam, and it has a depleting coal load, which is really cool when you see this thing going down the rails. Here's the coal load right there, and as you can see up the top, it's kind of rubbery, and it goes down and up depending on whether you're going down the track and it needs coal, or whether you've stopped for coal, it'll fill itself back up. This engine is without a doubt amazing, and it came with my Big Boy superset. I'll put a link to that video in the description in this video. Okay, Train fam, here are the last 2 steam engines in my collection. Can you guys guess which one is my favorite? Up top, we've got the Vision Line Triplex in the Virginian scheme, and down bottom, we've got the Class A. Which one do you guys think is my favorite? Let's go over them right now. All right, so this is the latest steam engine in my collection. It's the Vision Line Triplex. It is a 2 and the Virginian had one of these. I believe it might have had 4 wheels on the trailer truck, but you know what, this is close enough. And this engine has all the bells and whistles. Speaking of that, it does have a swinging bell. It's got stack steam, it's got whistle steam, and it has steam in the back. Yes, it's got a stack in the back that drives, well, that actually comes from these drivers right here. And these drivers do the wheel slip effect, which are amazing. So the front set of drivers have traction tires, and the back set does not have traction tires. The back set of wheels are actually its own engine. So when you do the wheel slip feature, those back wheels will start to slip and the front wheels grip. This engine is really cool. It's an ex-MTH tooling. Look at the detail on this thing. Holy smokes. Just detail everywhere. It's just an amazing looking engine, and I'm so glad to have it in my collection. Last but surely not least is the Vision Line Class A in the Norfolk Western scheme. This is the 1238, and this engine is a 2664, and this thing is just a beast on the rails. I'd have to say this is probably my favorite steam engine of the collection. Yes, for some reason, this engine just does it for me. It's got great sounds. The sounds of this engine, even at idle, are just amazing. It just sounds like it's echoing there, and this beast is ready to take its consist down the rails. It is an awesome engine. The detail is second to none. I just love how the tender has the doghouse in the back, and that little doghouse actually lights up. Look at the rivet detail, so cool. Even inside the interior, the windows move. It's just an amazing engine. Thing is so cool, and I'm so glad to have this in my collection. What do you guys think about the Class A? Such an amazing beast of an engine. Okay, Train Fam, that's gonna wrap it up for this video. I actually lost count of how many steam engines I had. Did you guys check it out? How many steam engines do I have? Which one's your favorite? Which ones did you not like that much? What do you guys think about this collection? Anyways, Train Fam, I want to say thanks for stopping by. Thanks for checking this video out. It was a lot of fun to do. I actually didn't realize how many steam engines I had in the collection, which probably means I might have a slight problem. All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time, Train Fam.
This has been a Wheel Toy Chain production. Thanks for watching.
Here are the last two steam engines in my collection, both Lionel Vision lines. Can you guys